Shamate, it's a subculture. These guys over here, which we've shown you before.
Yeah, shamate is this weird subculture. It's kind of born out of like a Japanese aesthetic, which we'll get into later. But we've covered this in the past. But basically, we saw them around rural areas and some migrants that would come into the city, especially factory workers in China.
Yeah.
And they're very different than the cookie cutter, whatever fashion trends are in China at that time, because they wanted to stand out. They wanted to look different. They wanted to be rebellious, right? And that always stuck out to us as being very, very interesting. And there was always a certain aesthetic. They love to listen. I'll give you some attributes. They love to listen to like happy hardcore techno. Love to go to clubs. A lot of fake beer being thrown around in there.
Yeah.
Because they don't have a lot of money, the migrant workers usually. They're usually from the countryside, and when they move to a big city, they don't really fit in because there's this weird thing in China that we'd have to do a whole topic on at some point. But basically, if you're a local in that city, a lot of people who are locals in a certain city or a certain area feel very xenophobic to other people from the outside. They call them 外省人.
Yeah, Bindiren, Waidiren.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or 外省人. So it means like you're outside province person, you're outside town, like area person. And that's a huge thing that plays into this. So these shamate, they dress crazy, they do their hair wild. They dress with like chains and all kinds of stuff. Listen to this crazy techno. They drive around their e-bikes or e-scooters, put a subwoofer on it.
Yep.
And they gravitate towards each other because they don't have anyone, right? They're from these faraway, disrespected places, right?
Yeah.
So they come to the cities and they meet other factory workers and they share this kind of weird, bizarre subculture we find quite charming.
Today's video is sponsored by Incogni. Did you know that there are horrible companies out there that make money off of taking your personal information and selling it? Insurance companies, scammers, identity thieves, you name it, they all want to know who you are, where you are, what you do, and what you buy. How do you think junk mail happens? What if I told you that with Incogni, you will actually be able to go out and tell these companies that they need to stop?
Thousands of companies are collecting, aggregating, and trading your personal data without you knowing anything about it. And you have the right to request data brokers to delete what information they have about you and protect your privacy. The bad news is it would take years for you to do it manually, so Incogni can do all the messy work for you automatically. Incogni helps protect your privacy, remove your personal data off the market by reaching out to data brokers on your behalf, requesting that your data is removed and dealing with their objections. Get Incogni and watch your data disappear from these terrible lists and watch your level of privacy improve almost immediately. The first 100 people to use the code FACTCHASERS at the link below will get 60% off of Incogni. Protect your privacy today. Go to incogni.com/factchasers and use the code FACTCHASERS to take your personal data off the market.
Yeah, when I first got to China, they kind of faded away. You didn't see them very often, but when I first got to China, I would see them quite a lot.
Maybe put one in the back.
Yeah, I'll just play this in the background. That's like Shamate Club, right?
Yeah,
but that's really like upmarket, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I think they're trying to perform a little bit here.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, so I used to see them quite a lot, and I thought they were like China's version of punks. You know? Mm-hmm. That's what I thought. But then,
in a way, kind of.
But they're very much their own thing.
And they're more wholesome. Don't you think?
More wholesome than I suppose so. Yeah.
I think punks are more like get in your face and stuff. Shamats aren't gonna hurt you.
Yeah, it depends.
They're not confrontational.
No, they're not at all.
No. It's all about the style, the weird style.
Yes.
Very, like, Chinese people look down on, the average Chinese person looks very much down upon these people.
Right.
They're from a different place.
Yeah.
They wear cheap, like, Taobao clothes. Yeah. They do their hair crazy. They don't care about their appearance, like.
Definitely, when I first got to China as well, when I was noticing these guys, it reminded me of some sort of Japanese manga and anime, specifically things like Nana and the Black Stones. And that's something that was quite interesting because I actually saw a poster, this exact poster, in Dongmen, Dongmen, and there were shamate walking around in Dongmen, and I was like, yeah, they're definitely like
inspired
by this, because this stuff was already quite old by then.
Yeah, Japan had a big influence on China in the 80s and 90s.
Yes, very much so. So you see a lot of the Japanese fashions, like that host fashion. You'll see, it's literally, like Japan's got this weird thing where they got these hosts, right? And if you've ever been there, there's
Like
certain
lonely
areas.
women use them or whatever, right?
Yeah, and it's the weirdest thing, man. My Japanese friend took me to one of those areas, and you've got these. It looks like a real estate office.
Yeah.
And you walk in there, and they've got like magazines
Yeah.
and brochures. But
And
what it
billboards,
is,
too.
yeah, and what's in the brochures is pictures of these like ridiculous-looking men,
Shamate-looking guys.
Yeah, and women, right? And you get to choose. Oh, I like the look of this one, and then they will like take you to the club where that person works, and then you pay to sit and talk to them and drink with them.
Yeah, it's not dodgy, right?
Yeah,
it's
I
like
mean,
a weird...
obviously there's weird,
Yeah, of
dodgy
course,
stuff
of course.
related to it as well, but in general, it's all about like you're lonely, you want to chat with a handsome-looking boy or something, or a pretty girl.
Shamate-looking boy.
Yeah, and they look like that. A lot of
Do the
them.
girls look like that too? Or is it just the boys?
it's just the boys.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah, the girls are more like.
I never saw the girl. I only saw the boys in the catalog thing.
Really? No,
I think because you brought the catalog as a joke.
Yes,
and it was the
I
male
took one of the male catalogs for you when I came back from Japan. I was like, here you go, Simo, take a look. You know,
they look ridiculous.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Anyway, let's show them.
Yeah,
Like,
we'll show some more. We got some new stuff, yeah.
So it's interesting. A lot of the shamate they'll look like this, but they'll have jobs as hairdressers or factory
I love that
workers.
he's got like a scorpion
lapel?
pin. Yes, a lapel pin. Yeah, this dude's epic.
I
yeah.
call him Stinger. Stinger rules. This is what they look like in a group. This would be down south, like in Guangdong, you see the palm trees.
Yeah.
But these guys, you see, they look like some sort of bizarre gang or punks, like you said, but they're harmless people.
Absolutely harmless. Yeah, they're very, very cool.
Lonely folks that had to find some solace in friendship with each other. Because like I said, the locals in China are very prohibitive.
Yeah.
They don't want outsiders. They don't want to mingle.
Yeah, it's very true. It is strange that, like China as a whole is actually quite xenophobic.
Very.
Like,
even
I
to
say
their own,
quite, I'm really playing it down.
even to their own people.
And very racist. I got to just put it out there. But even, like you say, to their own people from different areas. And that's because China's been cut off for so long. It's kind of rare for foreigners to be in China. Even now, you don't get a lot of foreigners around. So if you're a foreigner, you feel real special because you get all this attention. Yeah. But it's been closed off. So now you have to discriminate against like the guy from that province down there or from that neighborhood over there.
That's exactly what it is.
So it's like...
I'll give you a good example. Like, let's say these kids are from Hunan, right?
Yes, yeah.
Now, where we lived in Guangdong, the Cantonese people in Guangdong very much look down on the Hunan people. And it's just the province right north of it. Right? It's borders it, right? Because the Hunan people, it's a much lower income area. They'll come to Guangdong and take factory jobs and things like this. So
migrant
it's
workers.
Classist, big time classist society.
Yeah.
And then you have people from poor areas that bring their low class, vibe, what they consider low class. Yeah. And they look down on that. And that's just how kind of this works in China.
Yeah.
If you talk to people from like, I'm not even joking. This happened in like a coal or an iron town I lived in, right? I lived in this iron town. And if you weren't from there, people were like, because people there were considered like rich or whatever. But if you're from like the next city over or whatever, like, oh, that's not the same.
No, of course.
That's that they look down on those people.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, and you do get this whole bendiren, waidiren thing, where if you're not a local person, they'll rip you off. So like, it's a waidiren, charge them more.
Yes,
because they'll hear the accent or whatever.
Yeah, one of the most interesting attributes. I'm glad you brought that up. Is they'll listen for the accent because if you, a lot of times in that iron town I stayed in, they spoke this version of Mandarin that you would never ever understand. Yeah. It's called Jin Chinese.
Yeah.
Absolutely bizarre. Like, for example, like meo yong, like this thing is meo yong. It doesn't have a use, right? Yeah. Is diechus.
Okay.
Like, it just doesn't even sound like it.
No, it's not the same at all.
It's still Mandarin.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's still a version of Mandarin, like a dialect.
Oh, you read and write.
But it's removed. It's removed so far. So if you're from an hour away, you don't speak that.
Yeah.
So you come there and the people are like, you don't even speak our local dialect. You know what I mean?
And then they'll charge you more at the restaurant to try to rip you off or treat you badly or whatever.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate. Yeah.
There's some like more like low key, subdued shamatu doing a little dance for a talent show.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's this kind of like a lot of black and white and a lot of like dyed, frizzy, crazy hair.
It's the hair that makes it really, Yeah. Like the clothing's usually punk related. Oh, that's a filter.
Yeah,
that's
but that's
not even
it's
real.
showing there's the reason. Yeah, no, I put that in there because there's a resurgence of people talking about it now. So there's filters you can get in China that have a throwback to the shamata.
This guy, by the way,
he's the OG.
This is the original guy who started the movement, apparently, and he's showing off some of the shamata hairstyles, which are, I don't know which is your favorite out of these. That's ridiculous. What is that?
This is amazing.
There's the helmet from the thumbnail.
So crazy.
I mean,
It's impressive.
yeah, I mean, this would be good for like Halloween or something, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but talk about the commitment. You have to
Yeah.
grow your hair out like that.
Yeah, it's really ridiculous.
Is that
I like this.
Pokemon?
I like this helmet that he's got like a peak helmet on his bike. Look
This
at that.
guy rules.
That is amazing.
Yes.
I don't know how you do that, but it's
I mean, there's a
freaking
reason
amazing.
he's like respected as the OG
Yeah,
shamate.
yeah.
Doesn't he just look like a shamate?
Oh yeah, he certainly does.
He just has the whole. I mean, he did
Yeah.
invent it. So.
Yeah, that's very true. What on earth is that?
I love some of this stuff. Is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it is. It's
That's
crazy.
so cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, because you have the confidence to pull that off. People are gonna look, and you're like,
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
know?
There's nothing wrong with this. I like this a lot.
Don't say Halloween. That's the dumbest joke I've ever heard in my life.
Halloween. I kind of like that, to be honest. Yeah, this clam looking thing or whatever.
So weird.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Anyway, they
Yeah.
do. Shamate will spend a lot of time in the hair salon. Oh yeah, this
Yes.
is a perfect example.
I also like the fact that the surroundings is very China. This is what you see.
Yes.
You know, like, guys, when you've traveled around China a lot, you realize very quickly that China is not Shanghai or Beijing.
Yeah.
It's not the streets of Shenzhen downtown.
Nope.
It's not the fancy places you go to.
The sky is gray.
Yeah.
The air is usually thick with coal smoke. The pristine,
sidewalks
streets,
always
the
in-
sidewalks that you always see on the propaganda videos are all in disrepair. They're going
Yeah.
like this and that.
This is like a very indicative. I'd say this is
Guizhou
average.
Humping, yeah.
This is average China. It's
Yeah,
not
it's
bad.
average.
It's not good. This is what you can
We've been
expect
here, actually.
everywhere. Yeah, we have. We've been to this exact
Guizhou
place.
Hongping.
Yeah. It's
And
got
this
the
is such an
propaganda in the
average
background.
Chinese city.
Yeah,
Yes.
look at it. The signs. Oh yeah,
Hammer and sickles.
Yep.
The faded billboard.
yeah. The half-done construction and whatnot everywhere.
That's what China looks like in my mind.
Yeah.
My memory, you know.
The
But yeah,
average.
Yeah, the place you forget about when you
Yeah.
ride through. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But you meet some cool people like these guys.
Yeah. Now there is showing off it's the OG again.
Yeah. Is that a bit of a throwback? I put my own shamate song in the background so we wouldn't get copyright. by
Okay,
the way.
good. Glad to hear it.
One of our subscribers actually had a song made for the shamate as a tribute with a singer and full production, everything. It's on our Fact Chasers.
Right.
Shamate tribute.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's called Theme Song or something. Yeah, look, he's taller than everybody.
Yeah, yeah, because he's got his hair. Yep. He doesn't need to worry about hurting his head.
He doesn't. Seriously, the cops won't even bother. That's a perfect exemplification of a natural shamate
Yes,
girl.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
full effort. There's some. It's just imagine. See, you guys got to understand. In China, not many people are stepping outside their comfort zone.
Yes.
Even when you get people emulating like Korean fashion, which kind of looks crazy or whatever, it's a certain thing that they
Yeah.
buy. It's a certain outfit. It's a certain thing they saw in a blog or something. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Or it's in a show.
Yes.
This is like it was radical to see this when you're walking around. China.
Absolutely, yeah. It's very, very out of the ordinary.
Yes, it makes you look.
Yeah, yeah.
You know. And I always had a great time. The shamats always partied in the club. They almost saw it was this weird bond we had because, like, as a foreigner in China, you can feel kind of lonely.
Yeah.
Because like you're never going to be accepted.
Yes.
Right. You can have your friends and stuff, of course, but in general, you're not going to be accepted. The shamats were always really nice to me
Yeah.
because I think they felt like outsiders too.
Absolutely, they do. Yeah.
Yeah. So they would buy beers and stuff, and they don't have much money.
No, of course not. They're just all factory workers, migrant workers, really.
Yeah. And hairdressers.
Yep. Well, that is a migrant work.
Yeah. No, sorry, I was thinking of the factory. You know,
Sure.
like tinkering on phones or whatever.
Yeah, like sewing things or
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, very
I
monotonous.
Remember, I lived in Buji town, which
Yeah.
is really kind of this area
Yeah.
where there were just factories and stuff.
Yeah.
You see quite a lot of this. Yeah.
By the way,
The dirt thing and
Yeah,
the
so-
cement.
so there's a thing.
Yeah.
There's a subculture of shamata, which
Yeah.
is the break dancers,
But in dirt.
but they do it in dirt.
Yeah, and
in
cement.
cement dust, and they
Which is not
flick
good
it up-
for you.
No, they flick it up in the air, and they try to make the biggest cloud. And I'm not even joking when I say this. It's not just one guy doing this. It's
Yeah.
a whole subculture of shamata.
Yes, yeah, doing the dirt thing. Remember last time we showed the woman with the
I have it in
cement
here.
bag?
I have
you
it
do?
in here because it's
Okay.
like they even have parodies. It's that
Yeah, yeah.
popular. You
It's
know?
crazy.
Yeah, you have these hairdressers often hang out with each other and try different. How many times you've been in for a haircut and there's shamata like like messing with each other's hair.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
can you do this or that?
Yeah, and you get those hairdresser gangs on bikes.
Yes.
They always wear those like pastel blue skinny jeans or
That
whatever.
go up to their ankle
Yeah,
above
yeah,
this.
yeah.
In those fake leather shoes.
Yes, yeah, that's it.
It's such a vibe.
Yeah. I wonder what this guy's going to end up with.
Let's see.
Okay.
Nice. Looking pretty rad.
Ridiculous. Yeah.
It's radiculous.
Yeah.
I like the guy's got the milk thing on his shirt. See that?
The milk,
The
what
sweet
milk?
milk thing.
Oh, I don't see
Sweet
it.
milk brand.
Oh, that other guy. Yeah.
That guy's
Yeah, that-
hell yeah.
Mhm.
What was that called again?
Okay, it's not. Oh, it's some. I know exactly what it is.
I can't- it's
Yeah, or
too
something.
blurry.
Yeah, it's something. Whatever it is. Yeah. Yeah. What?
I think it was actually from Taiwan.
Yeah, it probably is.
Yeah. It was.
What is it?
Trying to find it. Anyway, no, you entertain everyone. I'm gonna figure this out.
I'm supposed to entertain everyone now. I think the footage itself is pretty entertaining.
It is. It is. It is.
Yeah.
Oh, Wong. Yeah, that's right.
Wong, yeah.
Wong milk. I think
Want,
it's from
want.
Taiwan.
In English is want,
Yeah,
want. Yeah.
Yeah, see, this is some OG photos. I thought these were great throwbacks. And just big shout out to the shamate for being individuals in a very non-individualistic society.
And it's very difficult to really portray that to people unless you've lived there
Yeah.
and seen it for yourself.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
really is. And again, I think there's this whole not a resurgence, but like there's this idea because of all the TikTok videos. They show all these like Chinese people walk around Chengdu or Shanghai or something with like crazy fashion or cool fashion or something, but that's not indicative of the whole place.
Sure.
The fast fashion has taken over where everyone kind of jumps on certain trends, and that in itself is a little bit soulless too.
I got to tell you that the conformist like society in China is so freaking conformist that I was in this city. There's this interesting story. It might be in some of my videos somewhere, but I was doing one of my first big road trips through China. And I had this Chinese bike, and it was really kind of knackered and run down, kept breaking down during the journey. And I came across one of those, those like bike gangs, like we did, in our documentary and stuff. But came across this bike gang, and they were hanging out at the shop where I was busy getting the bike fixed, right?
Yes.
Oh, this is the cement girl?
Yeah, I was just show you the subculture before you continue.
Yeah. So she's...
This is the subculture of shamatas, like, oh yeah, and they always wear those like cheap sandals, those slides.
Sure.
That's like a thing.
Yeah, that too.
So she's gonna fix this.
Well, she's not fixing shit, is she?
No, she's going to. But then she's gonna fix because she broke the cement when she opened the gate.
That's not fixing, I'm afraid to say. That's making it worse.
But then she's like, "Wait a minute, I'm done." And then she goes, "Wait a minute, there's some cement bags there.
Yeah.
It's gonna be kind of hard if I walk away from this."
Exactly. She does the...
It's I don't know how to explain this, but it's a subculture of shamatas to do this breakdancing in dust.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I know I can explain that as bad for your health.
We know that. That's why it says YouTube. By the way, it says don't do this. It says very clearly up there.
Yeah, exactly. That's good.
This is for entertainment only. But yeah,
Yeah.
this whole I don't get that part.
Yeah, it's
Anyway,
kind of strange.
continue.
Yeah, so I ended up at this bike shop, right? And it didn't the hotel was right next to it, so me and my buddy were like drinking a couple of beers, getting some work done on the bike, and just kind of chatting. And this bike group turned up, right?
Yeah.
It was actually pretty embarrassing because the main leader of the bike group, his girlfriend, was like infatuated with me.
Oh, okay.
And, that was like awkward as all hell.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Because I was probably the first foreigner that she'd seen.
She was, at least was curious enough, right?
Yeah, but I mean, it was like overtly.
Yeah, no,
she
I
was
get it,
like
I get it.
taking photos of me, wanting to
Right.
take photos with me, like trying to, she wanted to like take me for dinner with them
Yeah.
and stuff. And it's like,
Awkward, right?
it was
Yeah.
really awkward. And so I felt really bad for the guy, right?
Yeah, for sure. You don't. Yeah.
We don't
do that.
No,
We're
obviously
nice guys.
didn't do anything.
I know, we're nice
But
guys.
yeah, it's just like I felt awkward,
Yeah, for sure.
Anyway, the whole point of this is one of them had a bike for sale, okay? And it's actually the CB400 that I bought, remember?
Yeah.
And so I was asking them if any of them had any interesting bikes. And so they bought the CB400. It was in pretty bad shape, but I liked it. And so I was like,
It's full of fake parts.
yeah, it was absolute garbage, it turned
Yeah.
out. But anyway, I'd been drinking a lot. So,
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm like, oh, that's really nice. So I was like kind of curious to buy it. And another guy turned up on a It's like a Kawasaki Balius, it's called. It's a 250cc, which kind of looks nice. But what had happened was they had cloned it to look like a CB400.
Okay.
Because the CB400s in China, they were actually very popular because they were never sold there, but they like bring stolen ones in and they refurbish, put them together and sell them. But they all end up looking the same.
Yes.
Blue with the gold rims.
Yeah.
You know, it's like a blue color with gold rims.
Yeah.
And so what they did with this Kawasaki is they also made it blue with gold rims, and they even put the Honda stickers and everything on it to make it look like a Honda. And that's this conformist thing, where everything has to be. If something's cool, then everybody wants that one thing.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
That's true.
And so you get that throughout Chinese society. That's why, like, black Audis were a thing. If you're rich, you got to have a black Audi, remember?
Yes.
Everyone was driving black Audis. That's different now. It's Tesla or whatever.
Yeah. It was the black Audi for a while. Before that was the those Santanas, black Volkswagen Santanas.
Yeah, exactly.
Or the Buick vans.
Yeah, the Buick vans. So, I mean, that's why to see this kind of differing expression of yourself is really refreshing and awesome.
Is that sky/landscape exactly what you remember?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Most of China, that's 100% clear day with no clouds.
Yeah,
but you think it's cloudy, but
you think it's like evening
pollution.
time or something. Yeah,
It's pollution. It's got a certain vibe to it.
It definitely does. Yeah,
it is.
Yeah, some nostalgic memories
For sure.
of like unhealthy.
Shamate give me nostalgic memories.
Yeah, me too. They're awesome. And I wish I put that clip in where I met them. It's so stupid.
We'll put it in
we'll put it next time. But you would find them hanging out in the walking street areas.
Yeah.
So like in all cities in China, they have what's called a buxingjie, or like a walking, which just means a walking street. And it's where you get those like cheap fashion shops and loud music blaring out of the shops, and they sell street snacks and things,
Yeah.
It's where the young people go hang out, and it's always kind of a vibey area. And you always find them there, or like I found them in an underground arcade, like actual arcade game arcade thing. So it's really cool to come across these people,
Yeah, there was the expensive club right next to the cheap club. I'd always go to the cheap club with the pulsating dance floor, and they were full of shamate. We had a great time.
Yeah,
they were
it's awesome.
Great people. Anyway.
Yeah, so that's pretty much it. We thought we'd share some of this new shamate footage with you, and for those of you who maybe weren't, familiar with the whole shamate thing, now you know. Shamate, by the way, is supposed to sound like smart. Like you're dressed smart.
Yeah. And they look smart to me.
Yeah. It's lame, I'll be honest with you. It's terrible, man. It's like if you made a Cabbage Patch doll into a burrito holder or something. You know what I mean?
Oh my goodness.
This is just really, really dumb.
They put the deer googly eyes on the head. Glowing avatar, baby. What is the brand name of this?
It just says they're like otard.
The most otarded doll I've ever seen in my life.
Me too. Or just a Stephen Hawking bust. That's just creepy.
This is truly shocking.
When I close my eyes, I can almost see it.